Ladies and gentlemen, will you please welcome the award-winning writer, Niall Breslin.
Hello.
Niall.
How are you?
How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. My legs are back working.
How do you feel? That was a big win.
I don't know. I thought, it's kind of weird. Even since writing the book, even when I was reading it, I was like, it doesn't even feel like me. That was odd. I've never experienced anything like that. Very nice odd, but odd all the same.
Now, I recently visited Pieta House, who work with people who are struggling, people who are in crisis, and they even described to me the Bressie factor, that they feel that your voice in your book has brought young men to a place where they feel they can talk openly about struggles with mental health. How does that feel for you? I mean, that must be an extraordinary feeling a year later after the book.
Well, it's strange coming from Pieta House because they're the people and the Awares and the other charities that were around long before people like me were even mentioning this, long before people even mentioned the word mental health or suicide or any of these other words. They're the real kind of, I suppose, they picked up the pieces of a broken Ireland, and that's what it was, and that's what it is, but it's starting to actually repair itself. And I think the reaction, I suppose, to the book initially was just unbelievably, it just justified to me personally why I did it in the first place. But I think we gotta wake up here because we have a youth and teenagers and the younger generation that can actually change this. They can actually change it. And the reality is, the sad part about it is with Irish men particularly, is most Irish men who've taken their own life have never actually asked for help. And help works. And that's something that I think the book was trying to get across, is that when you actually start turning and facing it and learning how to try and not fight back, but to understand your mind a little bit more, it helps. And there's people out there who can help. So I think it's important that we start, I suppose, reevaluating what's actually important again in Ireland, because for too long, other things that really weren't that important became important. And now what's really important is people, humans, we're not robots, we're humans. We all feel pain, men, women, every gender, every age, every demographic, we all feel it. So we got to wake up to it and stop being so naive to think that certain people aren't affected by it.
Writing the book then, was it good for you to write this book?
No, I'll be honest, it was a hard thing to do. Some people would say that writing a book is quite therapeutic, and some people who've probably gone through quite acute phases of depression or anxiety try to park it, and they try to leave it there and not visit it again. And sometimes you have to. And I think ultimately writing was hard, but ultimately when I finished writing it, it was a huge payoff for me personally, because I was like, it was like I got everything out of my head. I put it into a book, and I could leave it, and I could go on with the rest of my life. And I said, the one point I said in the book is that we get so caught up as people on a destination. We have to get to this point, and if we don't get there, we haven't succeeded, or we're not happy. And most of us forget to enjoy the actual process and the journey, and actually enjoy the whole time. I'm 35 now. I meant to have kids and mortgages and all this type of stuff because I'm 35.
Where are they?
Where are they?
Under here.
We define what we're meant to be, and I'm like, no, I'm 35. I don't think I have any kids. And I think
anyone?
It was just, this is where it all changes. This is where the book number 2 comes. Me and my other mate. But it's the idea is we define certain things for us, and I'm 35 now, and I'm going to bloody well enjoy the rest of my life, because I struggled for 15 years of it, and I didn't enjoy the great things that happened and the great opportunities that I was gifted. I just couldn't enjoy them. I didn't know how to, and if I did, I felt guilty about it. And that might sound strange to some people, but that is often what a mental illness can feel like.
Well, I suppose what's interesting about your book is that it's brought you to a place tonight where you can have joy tonight, because even by the room here, the room inside, people are they're just so struck by the book. It's really struck a chord with everybody, and by winning the award, I think that's such a huge accolade and compliment to you. So huge congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen, Niall Breslin.
You're kicking me out. I don't want to go back in there.